we've never gone over this particular tarp, but these guys have gone over a lot of tarps, so you'll get to see that. Maybe kick a little dirt on that thing. And all right, guys. So what I want you to do, Alex, why don't you start us off? Why don't you come over here, and I want you guys just keep a line going. Just come over here, walk over this tarp. And so what I want you guys to see is I want you to watch the horses and the way they walk over this tarp. There will be some that might balk at it, that look at it. Our tarp's usually blue, so they might look at it a little bit differently. Right now, Alex is doing a really good thing. And his horse wants to smell it, and he's allowing him to smell it. And so that's a really smart thing to do. He's letting his horse think. You guys all see horses, they kind of get a little mouthy sometimes, or lippy. And what does that mean? And what it means is horses use their mouth or their lips just like we would use our hands. And it's an important thing to know. It's how God created them. And so if they don't know about something, they want to smell it, but then they also want to feel it. Just like if you put your hand out and think, what is that thing? And so you want to let a horse do those types of things because it helps bring a realization of what they're getting into. So one thing we thrive on around here is basics. We work on basics. One thing I always tell the boys, I said, we're not going to get any horses doing slide and stops. We're not going to get any horses that will have be able to spin holes in the ground. We're not going to take even correct leads. But there's a few things we can do. We can pick up their feet. We can clean their feet. We can put on bridles. We can teach them how to put on a bridle. We can tie them up, and we can brush them down, and we can walk over tarps. And so what we do is we get all the hard stuff out of the way for you. We let these colts go through the tough stuff of life. We try to get them used to the stuff that you might not have time at home. I know when I was training full time for a living, I barely picked up a horse's foot. I didn't have time for that. I just needed to get a saddle on and ride. I needed to get a horse to stop when I said stop. I needed to get him soft and supple. I needed to get him to turn, and I needed to get a lot of those things. And you'll notice a lot of these horses, they're not very soft and supple. This little filly I'm riding, her name is Holly. She was rode by a student whose name was Cameron, and he unfortunately had to go home last week, so left an open horse for me to ride here, and I really like this filly. But anyway, so you'll find that you'll get these horses, and man, they're a little tight in the mouth. They don't really move their shoulders as well as they should. There's a lot of those things, but then you'll also find that, boy, they sure go over tarps, and you can pick up their feet, and they're not too bad to shoe, and you can put bridles on them. And so our goal is to really work at covering a lot of the basics. And this is Jack. You can see Jack has a little mind of his own sometimes. And so, but as we work with these guys, and of course when we start them just walking them over them and getting them to where they'll walk on top of the tarp with us leading them. And then we move to the saddle. So Terrico's doing a good job. He's giving his horse time to think. This is another thing that we learn with these guys is we have to give them time to think. So many times our thought or idea or our desire at this stage in the game is to here I'll get off there, Terry. Is to have is to be like, man, you're supposed to go, and then start pushing them a little harder. But how many of you ever heard that you should you're looking for a horse to lick his lips, right? We all understand that. So what does that mean? Again, talking about truth, you got to come to a conclusion what it means. And there's a horse never actually told me what it meant. So we all kind of have our best guess. But from everything I've seen, a horse licking his lips basically means he's content and he's happy. But to me, it always means that he's thinking. When a horse is lockjawed, they're panic mode. They're on that flight pattern. They're looking for that self-preservation mentality. But when they start licking their lips, then it's like their wheels start turning again. Okay, I can think. And when they can think, you can do stuff. So if we take away their ability to think by pounding on them, whipping on them, I'm not saying sometimes, but to just think through them that opportunity. So he can accept it. So these guys go. There you go. So there'll come a point in time in a horse's life here, in his time. One thing you notice about this horse is he was pretty spooky, and he's still a little spooky about it. But there comes a time where that spooky comes into a refusal. And there is a time to push him a little bit harder, and that's what horsemanship's all about. Horsemanship is that next level of training where it's like, okay, I need to know when it's time to push and when it's time to let him think and kind of coddle him through it a little bit. So I'm going to do something with you, Taraku. Okay, Taraku, just stop for a second. Let your horse relax. I want to see him start licking his lips and decide we're not going to clinch down anymore. So now my grandpa, he would never like me doing this, but I found it helps me a lot. I want you to step off your horse. And I want you to now lead your horse across. Now, if you grew up, especially at a time like when I did or before, you always learned that you never get off your horse to do anything. But I've found that I could fight a horse for an awful long time in the saddle, and sometimes I can get down and get it done on the ground, and we're both thinking clear, and we can get it done quicker if we can get him to talk on the ground. A horse finds a lot of confidence in the ground when you're on the ground. For instance, someone give me their thoughts on why do you think a horse finds a lot of confidence when you're on the ground? Anybody, any thoughts or ideas out there? Okay, they feel safe with you. Another is very true. And another big thing, why a horse feels a lot more confidence when you're on the ground is because we feel a lot more confidence when we're on the ground. And there's something about that confidence that a horse feels from us. And as soon as Jack maybe scatters a little bit, and Taraku might see, as soon as I even do that with that mare, I'm not doing anything to her, but just that little bit of a tense of it makes her think. And so what happens? Horses, it's really funny. It's almost like a chain reaction you can't stop. So what happens is a horse might spook at something, or sometimes we spook. We might be riding along, see a plastic bag. Horse sees it, no big deal. But we see it, and we're like, "There's gonna be ready, be ready." And that horse, all of a sudden, he's getting nervous, and he's thinking, and he jumps sideways, and he's saying to you, "What are we afraid of?" And then because he jumps sideways, you jump and clinch, and you're thinking, "Why are you spooking?" But you jumped and clinched, and then so he spooks harder, and then you spook, and then he spooks, and it just is a chain reaction. And he's thinking, "What are we afraid of?" And nobody knows anymore. It's kind of like, how many of you ever seen a horse out in pasture? They're all just grazing and doing good, and then all of a sudden, one horse farts and runs, and the whole bunch just jumps and goes with them. And it's like they run for a quarter mile, and then it's like they start looking at each other like, "Hey, do you know why we're running?" "No, I don't know why." "Do you know why?" "No, I don't know why either." But someone started running, so we just started running. That's a horse's mentality. That's the way they feel. So we have to be that calming fact in their life where it's like, okay, when we're asking them to do something that might scare them, we have to find a way to help make them calm. So realizing that Jack is afraid of this, when you get to be to a level, Taraku, where you know that self-control, in a sense, you have that self-control. When you get scared and you can keep that confidence level, which Taraku is one of our better riders. He's done a really good job. Jack is a tough horse. That's why Taraku wound up with him. But as time goes by, you don't have to get off your horse as much because you can feed that confidence from the saddle with more of a loose rein. So Taraku, go and jump back on your horse. And you guys go ahead. Why don't you guys start going? I want you to just go ahead and get back in the back of the line. Okay? Good job. Okay, so here we got Frosty. Go this way, buddy. Okay, so you see this horse, she's kind of chewing on her bit. She's not clenched mouth. She's a little spooky about it, but she's not locked up like she's ready to leave. She's being a little resistant, but just because she's not sure what in the world it is. I've heard in the past, and I don't know anything about it for sure, but I've heard horses are colorblind. I never believe it because this is a pretty prime example that You know, you put a different color tarp in there, and all of a sudden they don't like it. Let's see. Justin, would you grab that blue tarp just for fun? Old blue. All right, so we're going to get a little encouragement here. I'm going to come up here with Holly, and we're going to let her bump off Holly here. There you go. Go ahead and just push on her. Keep directing her. One thing you'll find with horses is they're always looking for an excuse. And if you just keep directing their nose, just like he's doing, if you keep directing their nose, good, excellent job. If you just keep directing their nose to where they're going, sometimes you don't even have to kick them. They just know, basically you close every other gate. Yeah, give them a hand. That was good. So basically they know that you close every other gate. You can't go this way, you can't go that way. You don't even have to kick them. You just keep on turning their head to it, and eventually they just think that's the only thing they can do. Terry, would you bring that down here? We'll hit a second tarp over here. Good guys. Okay, so you can see most of these horses, they don't care much about it. Now, partly they're drawing a little bit of courage from the horses in front of them. They're kind of playing follow the leader here. And we do understand that. There's now and again a horse kind of steps in and says, whoa, I don't care what you guys are doing. That's not going to fly with me. All right, Dunnigan, go ahead and right to the blue tarp. Let's start going from there to the blue one. Just go over the gray one and then go to the blue one. And the wind will pick up a little bit here. All right, here's Jack again at the tarp. Jericho, we're going to break it down. Oh, that's all right. It looked like he was. Let's break it down to another basic. Let's just go to the blue tarp. Give him something he might be a little more familiar with. We'll see if that makes any difference to him or not. So we all realize horses are bigger than we are. And what that means is we can't overpower them. You have to learn pretty early in the game of life in the horse world that you can't force a horse to do anything. I always say if a horse knew what it could do, if it knew how strong it was, there's no way he'd ever let us ride him. But God put something in them that they cannot comprehend the things we can comprehend. And it's just like our relationship with God. And there's so many things about God that we can't comprehend. That's why we always ask the question, why did God allow this to happen? Why does God do this? Why is the world set this way? Why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? Why does Agapé paint everything green? It's just, why do things happen? And we ask those questions because there's a thing about God's mind that we just can't understand. And we never will till we get to heaven. But realize a horse has that same that same shortcoming. There's things about your mind that horse will never understand. And when you're telling a horse to go through a gate, or you're telling a horse to go up a hill, or you're telling a horse to go to a cow, then that horse doesn't know why you're doing that. Now they learn it after they do it. They know, okay, I know that this cow is going in that gate. And we've even seen horses that can do it on their own without a rider, but they've done it so many times. But they don't understand why. They don't know all of the reasons behind it. They just know that that's what they're told to do. So they become what we call meek. Again, another one of our qualities with these horses, truth, or with our horsemanship, is truth, meekness, and righteousness. And meekness, a lot of people mistake meekness for the thought of weakness. Now, meekness has nothing to do with weakness. As a matter of fact, the greatest picture of weakness, good job, Jack. Let's give him a hand. Jack goes over the tarp. So, good job. So, but the greatest picture of meekness really is a horse. Now, how many of you would consider a horse weak? How many of you would consider a horse slow? How many of you would consider a horse a timid and not? We all realize that a horse is extremely powerful, extremely strong, extremely fast. But did you know that the fastest horse in the world would do you no good if you couldn't control it? The strongest horse in the world, the horse that could pull the most weight roping, would never make a rope horse if you couldn't put a saddle on him and use him as a rope horse. That's a picture of meekness. That's what the Bible's talking about when he says to be meek. He's not saying that meekness is a weakness. He's saying use meekness for something greater than yourselves. And so that's our next lesson with these guys, is we try to teach them that, hey, meekness doesn't mean that you're weak. Meekness means you have some great gifts, some great talents, and you're very strong, you're very powerful, you're very capable, but you have to use those things for something other than yourself. Just like they're teaching these horses. These horses have no idea why they're going around in circles. I don't even know why we're going around in circles going over a tarp, but it's just giving them something to do. So we're going around in circles. There goes Jack, walking his way over that. Good job, guys. So as he's making his way over these tarps, what we're going to do is we're going to try to go ahead. You guys, I want you to, starting with Austin, I want you to follow me, please. I want everybody, we're going to play a little follow the leader here. So what we're going to do is Austin's going to follow me. Aaron's going to follow Austin. Isaiah's going to follow Aaron. Gavin's going to follow Isaiah. Cutter's going to follow Gavin. Augie's going to follow Cutter. Will is going to follow Augie. Christian's going to follow Will. Alex is going to follow Christian. You guys get the idea. I'm going to run out of breath, but they're all going to follow each other. So when I say to do something, Austin's going to follow me. When Austin says to do something, then the next guy behind him. Now, the other thing in this whole thing is the horses are listening to us as well. So I'm going to kick my horse up into a jog here. And I'm going to expect Austin behind me to do the same, all the way down to Taraku. Good job, Taraku. Nice job crossing the tarp. So we're going to go around here, and everything that we're doing is straight. Now, these horses can stride out. These horses can run. These horses can do everything. They can do quite a lot, and some of them are very talented. But that talent does no good if this horse doesn't allow me to utilize it and put it to use. And that's how we are in life. There's a lot of really talented people that do not follow God. There's a lot of really talented people that won't become meek and say, God, whatever my strengths are you've given me, whatever my abilities, I want to use them for you. So you just point the way. And so this horse, she can trot, and she can trot over tarp. So we're going to go over this tarp here, a little jog. So these boys are going to sit deep in case we have any kind of hiccups. Now, Augie is not trotting. That a boy, Augie. Oh, and the wind picks up. Keep riding. Go ahead and go on past him, guys. That horse will just go with you when you do. Ron, would you do me a favor? There's a flag right out there. Would you mind grabbing that for me? Okay, so these horses, again, they don't really know what or why they're doing the things that they're told, but we're directing them and asking them to do these things, and all they have to do is just do it. And that's how our life is with God. That's what meekness is about. It's not about your weaknesses in life, or you're meek and timid and you can't ever accomplish anything. It's that you're going to use your strength for something bigger than you. And that's what's going to lead to the success of these horses. It's what's going to lead to the success of these young men, is they are going to learn to use their strengths and their talents for something bigger than themselves. That means a lot of times our pride gets in the way when it comes to our horsemanship. So Scamp, you're doing good. We're going to come right with you. Good job, guys. Remember, loping under control. Go, Terracoo, go, Terracoo. Nice. Now we see Jack going and taking the going over the tarp with no problems. We're going to bypass that tarp and we're going to switch this way. Remember, stay in your order, stay in your line. Keep the line going, boys. Good job, Jack. All right, on the count of 3, I want everybody to stop their horses. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa. Nice. All right, let your horse sit for a second. Let him catch their breath. Very good job, you guys. You guys are doing really good with that. These guys have worked really hard with these horses, and I will tell you, there has been more than one of them fall off trying to get them to go across these tarps and things, but they're really kind of coming along with that. Now, with that, there's sometimes things that come into our lives. Like, for instance, these guys, they range in anywhere from age, I don't think I've got any 14-year-old boys in here, do I? 15? Who's 14? Augie. Augie's 14. Augie's doing really good. For a 14-year-old riding a young colt, he has done a tremendous job on that horse. I didn't know he was 14. That amazes me. Good job, Augie. So these guys range from 14 to 19. I think Cutter's 19. Where's Cutter at? There he is. But in their lifetime, a lot of them experienced a lot of things. There's stories around here of parents who have passed away. There's parents who have maybe neglected them or let them go, or there's just their decision to get in trouble and be sent away from home. Whatever it is, it's something that happens in life, and there's not one of them that hasn't asked the question, why, God? Why would you do that to me? Why would that have to happen? There's probably not a parent of these boys, and there's not a person in our stands here, and certainly not me either. We've all asked that same question. Why do you allow that to happen to me? There's a lot of things God allows to happen to us that we don't understand, and that's where that idea of meekness really comes through, because it doesn't matter why we're doing it. What matters is, are we doing it? And things that happen in our lives, it's a very sensitive subject, and it's something that's near and dear to our hearts and our community. If you look over here, there's this banner hanging over here, and our community has adopted a saying and a mantra, if you will, of live like Cali. Several months earlier here, we lost a very dear friend of ours, very sweet young lady in a car accident. Callie Henson was taken from us. And I can't even imagine how many times her parents must have asked, why? Why would something like that happen? And I want you to know that if there's anybody who is a Stockton Saddle Club member, you have the opportunity to take advantage of the Live Like Cali incentive fund that we are starting this year and will continue every year, where the very first person every year, member of the Stockton Saddle Club to purchase a horse will receive $100 off that purchase price. Just because Callie loved to ride, and she wants to. I know she was always encouraging people to ride, and we want to be part of that. We want to remember her every year, and she's been here working the concession stands. Her mom's here, a very sweet lady, and you know but there's things that happen in our lives where we say, why? I'm going to take this flag from Ron real quick. You know, we've been kind of practicing this, but that doesn't mean it's going to work. So we use a tarp, thank you, All right, so Holly's got this flag, a little nervous about it, but she's handling it pretty good. And this isn't like the first time. I don't want you, we've been trying to do this. But the first time these horses are exposed to a flag, something like that, they get spooky. They get jumpy. And no doubt, in their own little way, ask, why? What's the purpose of that? Why are you putting something into my life that's going to scare me, that shies away, that makes me uncomfortable? Why would you do that? Why would you put a tarp on top of Aaron? Why would you put a tarp over my face when I can't see? Why does that happen? And we go through with ropes. We work ropes around a horse's legs. And they must ask at times, why would you tie a rope around my leg and lead me by my legs? And and just like us, they go through these hardships in their life. And yeah, we don't think, well, that's not much of a hardship. Well, if you're a horse, it might be. To have that feeling of something coming after you that you don't understand, something that doesn't make sense. And the only way you can get through it is if you trust that guy sitting on top of you, and you look up and say, okay, I'll trust you on that deal. And when they get that, then all of a sudden they realize, hey, you know, there's something that's going to come out of this. And we can see those same things. Malaku, I'm going to hand this flag off to you. So this Malaku, he's riding Cowgirl. Malaku, go ahead, and while we sit here, go do a couple of laps of trotting around our horses here. So just start jogging your horse. I'll holler at you to hand it off to somebody else here soon. But as these horses experience these different things, we put them through all kinds of stuff. But I want you to realize the whole reason why we put them through these things with tarps and flags, you know, it's not something that is like we're always going to run onto it, but it's part of our training technique to say, hey, you have some strength about you. You have some ability. You have some speed, and you even have an innate desire to spook and to be a little bit afraid of some stuff. But what I want you to control that. And because we have a greater purpose. You know, the tarps and the flag, they are not, it's not the pinnacle. It isn't, we don't get off our horse, say, boy, carried a flag, carried a tarp, she's finished. She's done. Let's go get another horse. Let's just turn her out to pasture because she's already done with everything in life. The whole purpose for a tarp and a flag and many of those other things is because we're trying to give her a start in life. We've got a plan for her future. We have something that she's going to do. Malaku, hand your flag off there to Will, please. We'll go in and run up here and take. And you'll see some of these horses don't take the flag as well as some, but these guys, this is a great example. So go ahead, Will, drive her up again. This is where we work on self-control. And here's this horse saying, whoa, I don't think I want this thing in my life. I don't think I want to have something that is spooky and sounds funny and blows in the wind. I'm not really sure about that. And so she's going to come up here. Excuse me, Uno. I'm going to walk beside him here. And you know, none of us want hardships in our life. But all of us can agree that some of the greatest people in this world were built off of hardships. If it weren't for some of the hardships that they'd gone through, they never would have been as great as they were. And that's what we want these horses. They have to face hardships. They have to face the things that they fear in order to do that. Let me steal that from you. Will, I'm going to have you do this. Ride right alongside me here on my right, please. All right, so this is one way we can kind of work around this deal with these horses. And so I'm going to have Will ride next to me as though I'll keep it close like he's carrying the flag. So you just keep her going, Will. This gives you full control. You don't have to let go to do anything different. There you go. So we enter into things in our lives where we feel like we've been in danger, or we feel put upon, or we've had some terrible incidences or problems happen in our lives, and we ask this question, why? And, you know, those things won't always be answered. This horse will never know why we packed a flag or crossed a tarp or did those things. And so here we have a little scamp. She's kind of seeing this in a different light. You just keep walking forward, Will. I'm going to switch sides on you. I'm going to try to switch hands here. So we're going to come here alongside Will, and we're going to come up on this side. Now all of a sudden she's seeing this flag again. And it's right as though, Will, just keep riding. Go ahead and reach out and touch this flagpole. Okay, so now he's kind of carrying the flag. Okay, you can let go. Not much difference there, right? I'm carrying the flag, and she's okay. It's right. I'm carrying it actually closer to his horse, and I'm carrying it to my horse. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, as he comes, and we're going to get out here in front, we're going to let her kind of settle back down again. All right, Will, go ahead and put your hand on the flag. All right, I'm going to let go of it. There, now you just ride straight. You keep your head straight. You just kind of, now you got, it's your job now to pour confidence into her. It's like, see, this is everyday thing. All right, let's hit a jog. There you go. So we see Will and his horse overcoming a little bit of adversity with the flag. Now let me ask you a question. What was my part in that? What was a trick, if you will, that we learned or that we just saw in order to help Scamp get over her fear of flags? My part was to come beside her. My horse was used to the flag. Will, you're ruining my illustration, Will. That's why we don't use the American flag to start with. So, but what you see, though, is she got a little strength from me. And why was I able to provide that strength? Because I've been through it. Because my horse had been through it. And so you see, sometimes God puts us through some pretty rough things, and we think it's the end of the world, and it's stuff that we can't do. And we take all of our strengths and all of our talents and everything that God's given us, and we say, you know what, I'm done. If that's what God is, I don't want to serve God. If that's what life's about, I don't want to live life. But God says there's someone else coming alongside you. And if you'll take your burden that you've learned how to carry, and if you'll ride alongside them, talk with them a little bit about it, as they get through that, you can get somebody else to be able to pack a similar burden. And so we don't know always why things happen in our lives, but what we do know is God gives us opportunities and abilities, and we'll never know things. They never know why bad things happen or what they are, but these horses will never understand that either. And so our job, our goal, is to help these horses just obey. She doesn't have to understand why we have to carry the flag. Will, I mean, he's a good-looking guy, but I don't think he's ever going to be a rodeo queen. So he's probably never going to pack a flag in the rodeos, right, Will? So, but his horse is going to be a little bit nervous. So, but why is he doing it? We don't know why. She doesn't know why. She's never going to. But who knows? Maybe she'll get sold to someone, become a rodeo queen's horse, and she'll know how to pack a flag. But the point of the thing is, why we're doing it is not the important issue. The important issue is, will she do it? So we'll go ahead and hand your flag off to Brother Schaefer here. Okay? That's good. You did good hanging in there. Give Will a hand. That's a lot of work when you get a little nervous about a flag. You've all heard the saying that horses, kids, and dogs will always make liars out of you. So we've been practicing this and carrying flags and crossing tarps, and it doesn't even look like it. And I heard the same thing from some of the contestants this morning is, man, we do that all the time, and it just didn't even look like it today. But that's the beauty of horses. So here's Eric. He's got Perry. Perry is lot number 14, and she's a nice little sorrel filly. This horse has a lot of potential. She's really fast. Go ahead, Eric. If you want, like you do, work on the ground just for a quick second and get used to it. So we'll try to get through these guys. I want you to see so the idea, though, is God gives us talents. He gives you abilities. He gives you strength. And that becoming meek does not mean that you become weak. It just means that you take those strengths and now you have a greater purpose for those strengths. And that's all we're trying to do with horse. So if you look at horsemanship from that point of view, saying, okay, man, I see a lot of potential. Okay, this is actually a pretty neat picture. We have Cutter, Prelia here. Cutter's from Texas. Okay? We have Malaku Borles here, and who's from South Carolina, North Carolina, sorry, North Carolina, and originally, right, from Ethiopia. So, very different riders, and but here's the thing: can you see a difference in their horses? Lots of difference in these two horses, right? We got a tall, looks kind of thoroughbred, drafty kind of cross, really big-footed, big stout horse, and then we've got a short Poco Bueno bred, just a stocky, old-timey quarter horse-looking filly, and one's a gelding, one's a filly, one's a bay, one's a dun. One is short and stocky, one's big and leggy. Very different horses. They're going to have different purposes, but you know they both have their strengths. That little dun horse will be able to do some things that little brown horse, the bay horse can't do. The bay horse will be able to do some things the dun horse can't do. And we realize that if this little horse will learn to give her strength and her talent to that rider, she's going to accomplish great things. And if that horse there will learn to give his strength and his abilities to that rider, he'll also accomplish great things. Different talents, different thoughts, different ideas. But God will use that, or in this case, these riders will use that for their glory, for the horse's glory, if the horse will let them. And that's what we find in our lives in horsemen. That's what I love about this program. We can teach to these guys, hey, just like you have a plan for your horse, and if you think, man, she would just listen to me, we'll be successful. And that's exactly what God is telling all of us every day, that, hey, I'd look at, let me see. Who do we have here? Kale, come up here. Here's Kale. Kale also hails from Texas, right, Kale? So here's another Texas boy, loves horses, done a good job. This was one of our horses we got from the Merck folks. Okay, why don't you sit next to me now? Kale's kind of a little guy. I'm quite a bit bigger than Kale. So I have a little different strengths, where Kale probably couldn't play football, where I'd probably be like the center or the nose tackle or something. That's my job. Just kidding. If you can tell the difference, I'm a football player, right? I'm more my sport, baseball, second base, wrestling. We can go there, but Kale's built like a football player. I'm not, and we have different strengths. God makes all of us different individually. So Kale has some things he's going to be able to do in life that I'll never be able to do, and I'll have things in my life that I'll be able to do that Kale can never do. But none of us will reach that if we don't become meek. It doesn't mean we give up those talents. This is a big, strong kid right here, and he's going to be able to do some great things if he'll say, God, this body you gave me, this mind you gave me, this ability you gave me, you point in a direction I'm going. Exactly what we're trying to tell these horses. And if you keep that in mind, nobody wants to make their horses weak. One thing we work on with these guys, thank you, Kale. Eric, how are we doing on the flag? Go ahead and hit a little jog, and I want you to hand that tarp off to Kale, please. So one thing we teach these guys as we work with horses, and as we're going through life and trying to teach them some life lessons, is I was going to say something, and I can't remember now. This is why I could never be a clinician, because I don't know how they keep everything straight they want to say. But anyway, I'll come back to it if it comes back to me. But here we're going to turn Kale over to this flag. Now, you're going to see something with Kale. His horse has had probably the hardest time with the flag. But we've been working with him, and we've been trying to be a little consistent. We're going to go take this a little bit slow. And we're going to make the handoff. Oftentimes, the handoff is the hard part. But we're starting to see this big, strong bay horse that has all the potential in the world now has an opportunity to either obey or to fight against it. Let's go ahead and walk off there, okay? Kale's been on a visit last couple of days. This might be the first time you actually packed a flag on him that he's doing good, or have you done that? First day of your visit. Okay, good. You did that first. Okay, so we just had gotten this horse pretty used to this. The staff had been working with him pretty diligently. Kale went on a visit, so we took advantage of him being gone and got on his horse and kind of worked it. He's been working a lot with it too while he was here, doing a great job. But we're starting to turn the corner. So let's go ahead and ask for a little jog. I'm going to ride my little horse next to you. Good. Now you just kind of keep him in control. Good. Ease him back. Good. All that control's in your hand, and you just keep him listening to you. So if he gets to the point where he won't listen to you, he's all right, good. Way to sit deep. I'm going to come on that side of you if I can get there. There you go. It's all right, Holly girl. There. All right, now here, where are you looking? At your horse. Look ahead. There you go. So one thing we do, and we do this as people, is let's go walk ahead. Look where you're going. One thing we teach you guys is don't ever look down at your horse. We have that tendency to look at our horse. When I started riding, I used to do that. There was a guy that was helping me. He always said, quit looking at your horse. He's not going to change color. And so the idea is to look where you're going. So you keep looking where you're going. Don't look at your horse. Hey, over here. There, come this way. Look where you're going. Head up. Eyes forward. Smile a little bit. There you go. We got this. Let's go around Austin here. Or go to that side, Austin. There you go. Good. Very good, Kale. So go ahead. I'm going to come on this other side. Keep going. Look ahead. You're always looking at your horse. You got to look at where you're going. Horse will always be there. Excuse me, Cutter. There you go. So here, I'm going to be right here with you. Nice. There, you just kind of keep him. So Kale's going to just, as he's starting to feel him get hard, so Kale, you pull on those reins. What Kale's doing is he's trying to check that strength. Excuse me, guys. Trying to check that strength that horse has. And I'm just going to kind of help haze him here. He's going to check that strength. And God does that to us sometimes. We start getting a little out. Our strength gets a little, we start getting a little too big for our britches, and we start using our strength for our own things. And God will check that. And if he'll just, sometimes the horse will just respond to that pulling back on the rein, saying, hey, think. Go a little easy. All right, let's do it again. And as soon as we're going to do a slow jog, and as soon as you feel him getting any faster, using his strength for something you don't want him to, you're going to bring it back. There, start bringing it back. There you go. It's all right. Good. So if you can bring it back, you can keep him thinking. There you go. Bring that down a little bit. Nice. So he's going to shut him down. Nice. Right there. Now you see a little bit of loose rein going in there. Nice. So as that horse got faster, he encouraged him to slow down with his reins as the leader of that horse, saying, hey, your strength is being a little too much. I need you to scale it back. So this horse has all the strength in the world. There you go. That's all right. Attaboy. All right, Kale, you're good. Come ride next to me here for a little bit. Now you can concentrate on slowing your horse down, and I'll hold the flag part for you. So come to my left. My other left, please. All right. Good, that's okay. So here Kale has, what you see is by taking the flag from him and now just bringing him to the flag, Kale has full control now with his hands. He's not hindered with the flag in his hand. So now he can work a lot more on getting that horse up here to this flag and just walking alongside of it. There you go. Right here to my left. Always try to put this flag next to you. Nice. There, deep breath. You and the horse. Good job. So again, a lot of times it's us who are feeding confidence into our horses, and we're trying to get them to accept things. But if we get scared, they wonder why we're scared, so they get scared. But if we can learn to get them to accept it, we just have enough confidence to stay with them. There you go. Good. Now rub on them a little bit. Very nice. All right, let's walk a little. All right, so here's Kale walking next to his horse, walking next to the flag, with his horse. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and ask him for just a little bit of a jog. We're going to So here's the tricky part. When Holly starts seeing him, my horse, when she starts seeing him act up, she starts thinking, whoa, 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 are we supposed to run? And so now I've got to really make her listen to me. I need her feeding off of me than feeding off Kale. Again, which gives us a great picture of our lives. It's oftentimes like we get influenced by people rather than God. We start thinking, we see other people getting worried about stuff, and we get worried about it when our faith is being God. And I got to make sure this horse is like thinking on me and looking to me when she gets scared, not feeding off that horse when he gets scared. There you go. Good. All right, we're going to jog a little bit, Kale. Nice. So it's going to feel like I'm chasing you to him, but you need to slow him down. You've got all control. There. So Kale now has a power to keep this horse in check because he's got both hands, all faculties working for him. Nice. Good. Good. All right, now at a walk, I want you to reach over, grab this flag. Nice. So I'm just going to stay right here with you. Okay, now we're going to ride over here. We're going to give this flag to Tucker, okay? You can walk. As soon as you feel him starting to trot, that's some strength he's using you don't want him to use. You're not asking him to become weak. You're asking him to use his strength for your purposes. Good. Very good handoff. So here's Tucker. Tucker is riding a horse we call Scar. And Tucker, go and start riding. Scar is lot number 20. Tucker is from Missouri. Is that right, Tucker? Where are you from? Arkansas. Close, but not quite. All right, so Tucker's from Arkansas. All right, so as you can see, some of these horses are pretty good with it. Hand that to Aaron when you go over there. We're going to move on to some other stuff here. I'm okay right now. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. All right, Aaron, I want you to start riding your horse around. This is lot number 23. We call her Flax. Aaron hails from California, right, Aaron? All right, Aaron's from California. Done a really good job here on Flax. He's really grown a lot, actually, in the class. So what we're going to do here in just a second is we're going to have a little bit of fun. Because here's what happens is right now you see these horses sometimes get a little bit nervous because all of a sudden the spotlight is just on them. It's like they're zeroed in on, they're centered. It's just like the guys that were in the show this morning. It's like everybody's watching them. And that's a time where we all get nervous and we all get kind of iffy. So we're going to do something that we do sometimes with these guys. We've got these tarps in the middle of the alleyway, in the middle of the arena, and we've got this flag. They're doing pretty good here with this flag, but what we want to do is I like these horses to get kind of desensitized, and we like to play with them. And Ron, I think your horse will be fine with all this. I think your horse will be fine with all this, but we're gonna go move around quite a bit here with the flag. So let me steal your flag. Thank you. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of fun. I want you guys to start following me. Go ahead and get your horses up. And you're going to get to see these horses up. And we're going to actually just goof off a little bit here. So if we take this flag, and we're going to run by these horses that might be a little afraid of the flag. It's like Perry here. Come back to these guys now. It looks like we're about to have a big wreck, and we might. But this is what makes horsemanship. We want to run up here, make sure all these horses. So what happens is these horses are seeing this flag a little bit differently. So Arrow here, lot number 13, he's a horse that doesn't really like the flag. I'm going to turn right back into the middle of everybody with Holly. And we're going to come crashing through. You guys stay seated deep. Oh, the paint horse. So we want to just kind of play crash and oh, Arrow doesn't like it, so we're going to chase Arrow for a little while. Sit deep. There you go. Control. Always control. Attaboy. Good job. Hey, control deep and control. Control doesn't mean staying in the saddle. Control means controlling your horse. Good job. Nice job, Whitter. There you go. Good. So we're going to turn into here. I'm going to come right up to Arrow, not in intention to scare him, but he's kind of scared of the flag, so we're going to let him see it a little bit more. There you go, buddy. Now I'm going to turn with you over here, okay? You're good. You're good. There. Now ease him up. Nice. Come on. That's okay. Good job. Good job. Keep encouraging. Good job. Don't give up. Good boy. Good, Gavin. Good, Gavin. Good, Gavin. You got it, buddy. All right. Good. Nice. Okay, so here we go. We're going to turn back in here to Gavin. Good. Control. Nice. Now let's walk next to me. Good. There it is. Good. Walking. Don't pull on when he's moving. Drop your hands. There you go. Now you got it. All right. Now what I want you to start trotting, I'm going to trot with you. I'm going to let you start first. There you go. Now just go. Nice. Good. So what I'm going to do, Justin, if you'll stay directly behind him, I'm going to cut you off. Well, Gavin, I'm going to move right in front of you. So you just keep your horse at that pace. And he's going to try to stop and back into Justin's horse. There you go. But you just try to keep him up. I just want him to see it, and you're going to control him in a way of all you got to do is stay in the saddle and try to keep him in a consistent way of moving. Okay? So I'm going to come up here. Better. Okay, I'm going to switch sides with you. I'm going to cut you off. You just keep going. So I'm going to go faster, but you slow down, or you don't slow down. I'm just going to go faster than you. Now you come to this side of me. Did I lose you? He disappeared on me. There he is. I thought the rapture happened. I missed it. All right, keep working. You're working hard. Okay, guys, I want to show you, this is actually a pretty good opportunity for me. No, easy, easy. You're good. I want to show you something. Just gives me an idea. We're going to try real quick. Okay? So, Gavin, you come right Holly. There you go. Thank you. And I'm going to come right Arrow. And I just want to show you that there's Gavin is doing a very good job. Gavin has been one of those kids that has probably grown in this class more than I even thought possible. He's grown this class more than many of the kids as far as the time he started to where he is now. And so he's really worked hard. But what we're going to see about Arrow is Arrow has a tendency to feed off of confidence. And Gavin doesn't have a lack of confidence due to timidity or something like that. Gavin has a lack of confidence only due to experience, or to a lack of experience. So now I'm going to get on this horse, and when he gets a little bit scared, I'm just going to keep this flag on him, and I'm going to feed him confidence. The way I'm going to feed him confidence is by just I'm going to use him to be my little horse, just like I was using Holly. Will he like it as well? Probably not, but we'll get through it. Come over here. I'm going to turn right back into the boys. Here we go with the flag. Right up next to Jill. Where's Gavin at? There he is. Gavin, I'm coming for you. Oh. All right, so that horse is a little cranky. So, Gavin, now here we are. You come on, get up here with me. Let's lope a little bit. There you go. Nice. Very good. All right, I'm going to turn in front of you. All right, I'm going to let this horse kind of calm down. He's doing a good job. All right, guys, let's go ahead and calm down a little bit. Good job, boys. So, yes, my little horse got kicked. And yes, he's okay. No animals were harmed in the production of this make-believe clinic. Whoa. Sorry. But what we find is we're going to see, so I'm going to let this horse kind of calm down and take this. But when I bring this flag to this horse, guys, watch it. I got to long stick out of there. You can go ahead and give me some space here so I don't whack you in the face on accident. But I want this horse to start getting used to this flag. And the only way he's going to get used to that flag is if he trusts me. And the big difference between me, between what Gavin is doing and what this horse is doing was nothing to do with Gavin not being talented enough or anything. It has more to do with his experience level. And so what this horse is doing is instead of, when he was with Gavin, though Gavin's doing a great job, that horse was really looking out for himself. He's like, nope, I'm going to save myself. I got to get away from that flag. I don't care what you're telling me, Gavin, I'm running. And we do that sometimes to God. And now the difference with this horse is instead of him looking to himself, he's learning to kind of look to me. And he's starting to say, hey, okay, so if you're going to make me, if you're going to make me take that flag, because he's realizing that he has no power of himself when I get on him, and I'm starting to make him take this. So now he'll get a little goofy, but we're going to let him, because right now I'm not worried about it. I'm not scared. It's kind of like when bad stuff happens in our life, and we get all worked up over it. And you ever think that, God's not worried a bit. He just he knows what's going on. He's going to make it happen. And if we'll take that time to look to God, we'll find that everything's going to be all right. So I'm just up here having fun, enjoying the ride, and the horse is just kind of learning to have to put up with a tarp over his face. There we go. I think he might have couldn't breathe through a tarp for a second there, but never put a plastic bag over your horse's head. But he's learning that, okay, if that guy says to do it, I'll try to. So this guy reminds me of myself, where he kind of trusts God. He kind of trusts me. He's like, okay, but if you turn your back or you don't make me trust you, then I probably won't. And you can see he's got a little bit to get over. All these horses have had these flags and their tarps, and so the biggest difference that we see between this horse when Gavin was riding him and this horse now when I'm riding him is that I am working hard to get him to trust me. Now, to get him to trust me, let me ask you this. Am I holding the flag away from him, saying, hey, it won't hurt you? I won't bring it to you. I'm not trying to earn his trust by keeping him out of harm's way. I'm not rolling the flag up and saying, okay, there, you can trust me. Everything's okay. No more flapping of the wind. We're good. No, the funny thing is with these horses is the way I get them to trust me is I'm like, oh, you don't like the flag? Well, let me introduce you to my good buddy, the flag. And I think now I'm going to just really bring it into his world and show him that no matter how much that thing is in the world, even to the point where it kisses in his nostrils and cuts his breath off for a quick second, it's still okay. And that's sometimes how we find our lives with God is that we want a God that says, hey, if there's danger, if there's trouble, if there's heartache, if there's other things going on in my life, keep it away from me. Don't let it come to me. God, if you do that, I'll trust you. God, if when I start acting goofy and things aren't going right, if you'll pitch it, okay, I'll trust you again. But the funny thing, that's not how life works. That's not how God works. And you can see that in these horses. It's not how horsemanship works. You don't teach an animal, you don't teach a horse to trust you to swing a rope or to trust you to rope a calf or to trust you to take a flag, thank you, or to trust you to cross a water by saying, I know that bothers you, so I'm not let you do it. I'm not going to make you do it. You can trust me. I won't make you do that. That doesn't bring trust into a horse's life. That brings more insecurity and more fear. So that's why we kind of goof off like that and get these horses all sweaty and bummed up here because it actually brings a lot of trust into them. All of a sudden, and did you guys notice anything different about the way these guys rode when we were doing that? A little bit of difference. They're smiling. They're having fun. Riding is a lot more like this. And where were they looking? Were any of them guys looking at their horses? No, they're looking ahead. They're looking at me. They're looking at, hey, let's follow that guy. Charge! And they're wanting to know what's coming up next. And they're having a good time. And you know what that does is it brings leadership into their lives. It brings the opportunity for them to say, it takes their mind off of the worry. So we see that there's a handful of these horses that don't like flags, this guy being one of them. And they'll all take them. We've all worked with all of them to take them, but some of them are a little more leery than others. And like old Wedgie, for instance. Come here, Wedge. You guys ever heard that saying from your parents? One day you'll thank me for this. Yeah. Sometimes I got to tell my horses that. I know you hate me right now, but one day you'll thank me for it. Sometimes I got to tell these boys that too. I know you hate me right now, but one day you'll thank me for it. This is Alex. Alex is this is who he is. This is how he is. There's some struggles that come into him with this horse, but that's exactly him. He's not just like, oh, okay, I don't know. He's just, we're going to do it. Come on. Good job, Alex. So here, Alex, you take off. I want you, just like when I was carrying the flag, I want you to carry the flag. Okay? Now don't go crazy here, and let's not get bucked off. That's embarrassing. So let's just jog. Yes, sir. No, we're good with it. But that next. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, you guys start following. What's your name again? I'm just kidding. Start following Alex. Alex and Wedgie. Hip number 3. All right, Alex, keep jogging. Hey, you're cheating. How are you cheating? There you go. Quit having it furled up. Still cheating. There. Now take a deep breath. Hey, look ahead of you. Here's what I want you to do, okay? I'm going to be your beacon. You look at me. Hey, right here, me. I want your eyes on me. I want you to follow me. Not your horse, me. There you go. Where you look is where you go. Come on, Alex. There you go. A little more. A little more. Look at me. You're looking at your horse and kicking your horse. Look at me. Good. Good. Man, how many times does God say that to us? We get in some issues, some problems, and God's like, hey, look at me. Eyes on me. Eyes on me. And we're right there thinking, no, I don't know about this. Good, Alex. Keep going. All right, you ready to lope, little Alex? All right. That's loping? There you go. Nice. Nice. Good job. All right. Let's go down to a jog. All right, hand that flag off to this crazy-looking kid next to me we call Austin. All right, Austin is on one of our fine Merc horses, lot number 18. This horse we call Flybite. Let's do it, Austin. Like a bunch of crazy kids running around Disneyland, and Austin leading the charge. Okay, Austin, I want you to do your best to turn back into the bunch. Everybody sit deep, be right and right. Go and slow down into a jog. Turn them back into the bunch of the colts here. Turn them back in. Turn them back in. Make them happen. You can make it happen. There you go. Good. You can run people over. Good. All right. Not do circles. Run into them and go the other direction. Now go to the right. Good job. Hey, do me a favor. Taraku, you want that flag? All right. Taraku wants that flag. All right, Taraku. Okay, we're going to work with Jack again. You guys remember Jack, lock number 24, a little iffy on the tarp. I will tell you, Jack's a little iffy with the flag. But Taraku's going to get his mind off that because we're going to put him to work right away. All right, so here he is. He's got the flag. He's kind of giving him a chance to see it, to rub on it, which is a real wise thing to do. But we don't want to give too much time where he's like, hey, am I supposed to be afraid of this or what? So let's just go like we own the place. There you go. I'm going to go with you. Hello there, Jack. We're going to ride out here. You got a whole herd of people following you. You can't fail because people are looking to you. There you go. Ease them back. Let's just jog. We want control. We don't want speed. There you go. Good. Nice. Much better. There's old Jack packing the flag. He reaches down and pets him a little bit, a little reward for his good behavior, his willing obedience. Nicely done. Simmering, run up there and steal that flag from him. All right, we're going to do a little handoff. a midfield transaction here. Simmering now takes the lead as he goes around. And so what you see is when we take the focus off the individual, and now all of a sudden there's a group here. One, his horse does feel a little bit more confidence, but two, Justin quits worrying about everybody looking at him and that he's going to fail. Yeah, all right. Good job there, Cale. Just keep it up. All right, Simmering, we're going to hand that off to our 1-2-year-old in this class. Lot number 25, ridden by Christian. Little filly we call Jill. So he's going to run up there, find a way to make a smooth, quick transaction. All right, get up there. I think Justin likes to make you work for it. So, all right. Good job, boys. There's a transaction and made. So now we're going to take the focus just off of him. We're going to ride with him. All right, lead the charge. Let's go ahead into that lope with that little filly. Now, I want you, when you feel ready, I want you to turn into the bunch and go the other direction. Good boy. Good boy. Just run people over. That's the fun part of this game. It's the only game you're allowed to run people over. Very good. Now, I want to do one more thing. On the count of 3, I want everybody to stop except for Christian. Okay? Christian, you just keep trotting. 1, 2, 3. Christian, you leave the bunch. Take your horse and go. Take your horse and go. Take your horse and go. Away from the bunch as much as you can. Good job. Nicely done. So now all of a sudden we put Christian all by his little lonesome. Nice way to think to move completely away. Really nice. Great job. Her, leading her. So this guy, he's a quiet guy. Go ahead and go down to a jog. Let's get a little more control. Good. Away from the horses. Very good. All right. Go ahead and come on back to the bunch. Give Christian a hand. Good job, Christian. All right. Who wants a flag next? Cutter wants it. If you haven't had a flag. All right, we have Cutter Perelia hailing from Texas. What part of Texas again, Cutter? Where? Did he say Graham? Graham, Texas? All right, you're just by yourself there, Cutter. Nobody likes to ride with you anyway. Cutter's done a great job on this horse. This is another one of the Merc horses. I'm going to let you watch him for a little bit. This horse was probably, in some ways, the toughest horse to start. He was definitely the toughest horse to get through to. You know, he bucked a few times, and you can get him saddled. We even put some rides on him, and then we could not even walk up to him to pick up a foot, even with a few rides on him. And it took a long time. And I was really beginning to wonder if our situation with our class was going to work with this horse. And along comes Cutter. Cutter he was getting up at 6 o'clock every morning, saddling this horse, riding him by himself, getting this horse used stuff. He had a lot of bumps and bruises from this horse. His horse used to run off quite a lot, just grab the bit. He got wiped off in trees. He fell off with some sharp turns. Got bucked off one day. We laughed at him all the time, so it wasn't a big deal. But he really pushed through, and he did a good job. We didn't really laugh at him, but he's done a great job. All right, ease that horse up there, buddy. Nice job. Let's see. Whose horse needs work? Who know? Done again. Done again. Done again. Done again. Come on, done again. All right, so here we go. This is a great opportunity for you. See, Dunnigan's horse, this is a horse we call Hatchet. Have no idea how he's bred. He does have paint color. That's the only thing I know about him. Tell you what, let me grab that flag from you, and I'm going to ride with it again. I believe he has a little bit of draft in him. He's got a little bigger foot, and he's got a little bigger head, a little bigger bone. He moves kind of like a draft horse. So I believe he's got a little draft in him, but I don't know that for sure. But I'm pretty sure. So, but what you'll see with this horse is he's pretty gentle. He's never really given us too much trouble. Matter of fact, he's actually pretty lazy. He's hard to make him go, hard to make him turn, but he doesn't like the flag. So I'm going to get him to follow me. And so our goal here is to get this horse to take the flag. And again, here we are dealing with a green rider on a green horse. He's learning, but if he'll just stick to some basic principles, and that basic principle is, okay, I'm the leader. You don't get to call the shots, I call the shots. And that basic principle is, you and I, we share one thing. You know that you and every horse share one thing in common? And that's that you were created by Almighty God. And one thing, though you or I may at times question that, one thing you can always count on is your horse. Animals are amazing. And did you realize, if you stop and think of it, a horse never questions if God exists. He just knows he does. He never questions God's direction. He just does it. Mankind's the only being on this earth that even dares to question God and question whether he exists or not. All these animals know it, and they just accept it. So it's kind of an interesting thing, and so that's one thing that you can do. All right, let's go ahead and take a few steps here. I'm going to ride with you. So that's one thing you can do is you can relate to your horse. If you can't find any other thing, it's all right, keep the flag up, turn them this way. Good. If you can't find any other thing to relate to with your horse, you can always relate to the fact that that you and him have the same creator. And he recognizes that even when you don't. There you go. Good job. That's all right. Hold him back. He's back. Take a deep breath and hold him back. Nice. Good. Sit deep. Good. Good. All right. Deep breath. Here we go again. You're in control. This is why we breathe deep. Again, every time he has to keep reminding himself that, whoa, I'm in control. Let's go that way. I'm here with you, though. Yeah, he's a little lazy, especially when you got a flag. There you go. Good, you're doing good. So we're just going to keep it here. Some of us humans, we need some pretty simple instructions in life. Some of these horses, they need some pretty simple instructions in life. Right now, I think I've got the blind leading the blind here. You're good. Keep going. My horse doesn't want the flag. His horse doesn't want the flag. I'm going to give him a little incentive here to keep going. Attaboy. Good. Now hold it up so it's out of his face. Every time he goes to move, you let your hand drop. That's all right. Stay conceited. We're just trying to get him to walk. No, that way. We don't change. Again, here's where the horse tries to take leadership. This is where our dominion has to kind of come through. It's not a time to hammer on him or wail on him or to beat on him or to be mad at him. It's a time for us to say, no, this is what I said, and we're going to figure out a way to do it because there he goes, good. So the flag, it's all right. Sit deep, good job. Hey, good seat. Good job with that. That was great. Okay, now take a deep breath. Drop your hand just a little bit. You can hear your heart pounding from here. Good. Justin, why don't you ride on that right side of him, and we'll ride on this left side of him. Nice. Help a brother out, right? Good. Nice. All right. So sometimes we got to step in and help. Like I said, there's some of us are quick learners, some of us are slow learners. Some of these horses are quick learners, some of these horses are slow learners. And this horse is just going to take some time, though we've done this, and though we've had this experience with this horse before, and though several times we've taken this kind of time to get him over it, it's still a tough thing for him. And that's okay. So what we're going to do with him is just take it slow. Where some horses will be able to run with it, we're going to walk with it. And not only are we going to walk with him, but we're going to walk with him with training wheels. Brother Justin is the right training wheel, and I'm the left training wheel. There you go, good. So the horse is feeling some confidence. I'm going to show you guys something. Justin and I are going to pull out. You're just going to keep going straight, okay? You just go straight, and you're good. See, just when you said, all right, this is great. You guys couldn't hear it, but as soon as I said we're going to drop back and let you go ahead, Dunnigan says, oh, Lord. And he knows what's coming. But that's where we don't put confidence into this horse. So we're going to drive a little confidence. So when I say Dunnigan, we're going to drop out. You need to have more of the mindset like, oh, good, I finally can do it by myself. I wish you guys quit babysitting me. Okay? I know it's not going to be easy, and you might fail, but that's not what it's about. You got to put some of that confidence in there, okay? So we're going to drop out. You're excited about that, right? Oh, yeah. You can't wait to do this all by yourself, right? Okay, so I want you to keep that horse going. He's going to try to stop when we stop, but you're going to start pushing on him. Start looking where you're going. Justin, 1, 2, 3. Let's drop out. Good. Good. And you just don't, not a step slower. Keep driving, keep driving. Nice. I don't even think he knows he's alone yet. Good. Nice job. Your arm getting tired yet? All right. Good. All right. Let's see here. Who needs a flag next? Who wants a flag next? Not again. Huh? All right, Wesley. Walk over to that horse, see if you can grab that flag from him. Let's give James Dunnigan a hand. Really good job carrying that through. Opportunity to present a little bit of leadership and courage into his horse. Instead of saying when it's his turn to go by himself, instead of saying "oh my," we want him saying "oh good." And with that different kind of mindset, we see a lot of a difference in a horse. Good job, James. Okay, this is Wesley. Wesley is riding lot number 1. This is a horse we call Agapé Noble Vine. She is a year older. She's actually had a baby before. It was born this year. She just had her first baby this year, and it was born in that bad snowstorm we had, and it didn't make it, unfortunately. Everything's good with the mare. Everything she milked up really good. Had the vet check her. Everything's great with her. No problems. Very, very sound to breed, to ride, do whatever. Really nice riding horse. Put her back in the riding string, and here we go. Wesley, are you comfortable jogging on that horse? Okay. He says, yeah, you bet I am. Are you crazy? What kind of question is that? I like that because he's showing a little bit of confidence to his horse. That horse needs that confidence. Very good. All right, I want you to come over here. I've kind of taken a lot of time talking to you, and I really appreciate your time listening. We're going to take some time tomorrow. Easy, easy. Attaboy. Hey, are you smiling? Hey, look at that smile. Attaboy. Go back and get your water bottle. Good job, Taraku. Come on, Arrow. Thank you. All right, so I've taken some time with you here, and you have been very kind to give me a hearing. What I'm going to do, Ron, can I turn over a little bit of time to you? I want Ron to I'm going to take a break here from you having to listen to me and let you listen to a lot better voice. He's a little funnier than I am. I'm going to have him talk to these boys and kind of maybe ask them some questions, get you to know a little bit about their horse, them. Hey, if you guys have any questions whatsoever about a particular horse, about anything you might have seen about her, worries you have, concerns, feel free to holler out, raise your hand, throw a water bottle, but throw it at Ron. He's the one with the microphone now. But feel free to ask or talk. So, Ron, I'm going to go turn it over to you here for a moment.
Hey, before I even talk to the boys, Riley's one of the most humble guys I know, and he's had you cheering for these boys. How about a big round of applause for Riley Olson? And that's a good round of applause for Padre. I didn't know if he was going to buck me off when we round of applause or not, but it's worked out. I'm just right close to this guy here, so I'll talk to him first. Alex, that big smile, that's the first thing I saw when I met Alex last fall. And Alex just want to do two things. In fact, all you boys get it on your mind. We're going to talk to as many of you as we can. Just, and we'll talk some more tomorrow, so you don't have to do everything. But tell me very quickly one thing that you think is one of the biggest strengths of your horse, one of the things you think he needs more work on, and then one thing this program has meant to you. And I'll remind you if you're thinking about these, what those three things are. But first, what's the biggest strength you think of this horse having ridden him?
Well, I think that his greatest strength is being kind of calm, like not like trying to run off with me or buck. I just think he is a very calm, humble horse.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what do you think he needs more work on?
Well, he is a very lazy horse, so you definitely got to put a little bit more work in him. But that's kind of almost every horse. Like every horse can be lazy now and again. But yeah.
Yep. And then one thing this program means to you.
Well, this program has meant a lot to me actually. Like it has actually given me a chance to actually work with horses to to like maybe do something different than what you normally do. Like you like you actually get to do some different things instead of school or work.
Yep. And one of the things you told me last week is and maybe you didn't want to say this today, but I'm real proud of it. You also told me this class gave you a little bit of courage getting on this horse.
Yes, that is true.
Good. Hey, a big round of applause for Alex. He's been a fun guy to get to meet. And hey, Gavin, since you're close, let's talk to Gavin. And you already heard Riley say I met Gavin this fall, and boy, what a nice change. And not only his horsemanship, but man, all them push-ups, they've been paying off, dude. You're buffed up, and your confidence level, and just watching you ride, it was much fun. It was so much fun. So, the biggest strength about your horse, in your opinion?
I think my horse is a kind horse. It does everything you ask him to do. It's been worked with cattle. Well, all these horses have, but I think it's pretty good at that. And fast. It's good at speed and gait control and that stuff. So I really like that.
Okay, and what do you think he needs some more work on?
Confidence, like how brother Olson said, like taking the flag and like having confidence, and some of that is through me, which I'm still working on within myself. I'm trying to make sure my horse trust me enough that it will make sure to take the flag, and I could do anything to my horse. That way, it could do a good job and perform well.
Yep, and one thing this program or Agapé has done for you.
Well, before I was super lazy and I was I was really obese when I first got here, and it helped me lose weight and taught me ethic and to do the right thing. And like sometimes in life we have struggles and things that we're not proud of, but just move on and just keep working on the things that mean a lot to us. And this program has taught me to work hard and work through my struggles and try to be a better person every day.
Hey, Gavin, we're proud of you. Round of applause for Gavin. Why don't you back out, and we'll just I'll scoot over here to Augie. Or there you go. Yep, that's good. Hey, Augie, first thing I thought of is when I got here, you were just a guy that I didn't ever see you not try anything. They're just, Mr. Olson would say, let's do this, and next thing, Augie's jumping out there and doing it. So what do you think's the biggest strength of your horse?
She's super good at getting desensitized to things. A tarp can fly into her face and she won't really mind. There are days where she will freak out a little bit, but I mean, it's nothing that's not changeable.
Yep. And what do you think she needs a little bit more work on?
Her backups and her transitions are kind of rough. I've been working on the transitions a little bit more, and recently I've been working on her backups, but she can still work on those.
How much riding had you done before this program?
Never even touched a horse. I've seen a few in pictures, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, if you watched him ride, now he's talking the game, backups and transitions. And then one thing that this program or Agapé has done for you.
I mean, kind of like what Gavin said, it taught me how to work hard and like the small things too. Like, I never really washed the dishes. Like, we have a dishwasher at home. Why do I need to know how to wash the dishes? But, sink side, busters, they all taught me how to do a good cleaning job. They taught me how to actually want to do my schoolwork. Schoolwork wasn't too big of a problem, but now since I can do it at my own pace, I can get as much done as I possibly can. So.
Hey, good. A big round for Augie. Hey, James, you're close. Why don't you just step up, pard? James, I've watched you work with this horse, and boy, it's been fun to watch because it just hadn't always been easy, kind of like we've seen, and you just kind of hang in there and push through some of that stuff. And so what do you think is the biggest strength about the paint horse here?
The biggest strength has got to be when I'm bridling him up, because when I first started, it was really difficult. I didn't have any idea what I was doing, and now it's just super easy. It's the easiest part of the whole setup in the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you think needs to be worked on?
The exact opposite of what Augie said is I need to work on desensitizing. In the beginning, I was just eager to get on and ride, and I didn't spend a lot of time on the groundwork. I talked to Brother Olson about it, and I feel like my horse would have turned out a lot better if I had worked on desensitizing in the beginning.
Yep. And, boy, there aren't a lot of young men that kind of look to themselves about maybe what their horse is not doing. So that's a lot of maturity right there, pardon. And one thing that this program or Agapé has done for James.
Out here on the ranch, Brother Olson is emphasizing just manning up, and one thing that's really helped me with that is just coming out here, being really hot on top of your horse, just working all day, and then you're hot, you're tired, you're thirsty, you're hungry, and it's just you got to learn to just man up and go through it, because at the end it's going to be so worth it when you can go get a sip of water. So.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, big round of applause for James. Yeah, thanks for making me feel guilty about drinking a whole bottle of water a minute ago. Come on, Malaku. Oh, Pony's done good all day, but I don't blame your pony for not wanting to be close to me. This guy, I've had a lot of fun getting to know him. Great big smile every time I come to Agapé, like most of these boys. They'll see me in the lunchroom and come up and say hello, good firm handshake, look me in the eye, and you're doing fine. You know, we've done a lot on these ponies today for being 3-year-old colts in front of a bunch of folks. So, hey, just find a spot, and maybe I'll come to you, and we'll show the crowd that I'm on the most unbroke horse out here. I'm glad they weren't paying attention when you guys were doing stuff. And the only thing that saves me is my horse is allergic to perspiration, so he tries to do as little as he can. And man, I always look forward to talking to you. We talked on the radio together here a while back. So very quickly, biggest strength of your pony?
She's very patient. Yes, sir.
And then what do you think is there some work that she needs to continue to work on?
I don't know.
Riding up next to a guy with a microphone is what you. Yep. That's always an easy one when I set you up for there. Hey, I know I'm putting you on the spot, and but I also know your heart. We've had some good conversations. One thing that this program or Agapé has done for you.
Well, I've been here 3 years, and then I got saved here. So basically, Agapé taught me, and the over here they also taught me to be oh my goodness to be leader. Yes, sir.
Yep, and it doesn't matter, right? Whether people say, oh, I'm going to appoint you a leader, it's what you get done, and we've sure seen that. So big round of applause for Malaku here. Hey, thanks, buddy. Who's over here, Tucker? Let's just talk to you. And so what do you think is the biggest strength? You're riding hip number 20. I've kind of got it blocked. If you guys are wondering, this is hip 20. The biggest strength of your horse here, Tucker?
Probably the fact that he's just easy to get along with, and he's not real jumpy, because I've bumped into barbed wire a few times, and he gets ran into a lot, and he doesn't really ever spook.
And what do you think is an area to still need some work?
Definitely him being a meathead and not wanting to listen.
Yeah, okay. All right, I can relate to that. And then what do you think one thing that this program or Agapé has done for Tucker?
Well, it's pretty hard to say just one, because this place has taught me so much, but if I had to say one, it'd probably be placing higher value upon my relationship with my family, because before I got here, I used to be embarrassed of them, and now I just love them to death, and wish I would have been like that before. So.
Well, you can't pay for that right there. Big hand for Tucker. Thank you, Pard. All right, I'm going to come over there to Roman. We'll just kind of continue to work my horse around the tarp. Everybody's been wanting to see me get bucked off. We're getting closer and closer. Roman, tell us about your horse. What do you think is the biggest strength of this pony? And this is hip number 5. If I'm kind of blocking some of these, so hip 5 if you're looking at the catalog. What do you think this horse does best?
She learns fast.
And boy, that's important in getting these horses going. Have you got a thought on something that you think she needs to continue to work on to get better?
Her lead.
So lead changes, like to see her catch the right lead. And then Roman, same question I've asked everybody. One thing that Agapé or this program has done for you.
It helped me it taught me how to build relationships because my parents will come down here and visit, and every staff member here is trying to build a relationship with me, and it's just pretty much taught me how to build a relationship.
That's good. A big round of applause for Roman, if you guys would. Hey, let's just step forward, Christian. How about we do that? That'll keep my horse close to this tarp, which will make him want to get close to you. That'll all work good. Boy, I've noticed your horse is pretty quiet and really doing a good job, and kind of matches the personality of the rider. Christian's one of those guys who's, you know what? I'll just say this, Christian. I hope it's not embarrassing. Christian is one of those guys. He's sober-minded. He's serious about these things, and so one of the things. Whenever I get a smile from Christian, that's better than breakfast for me. And breakfast is my same meal, so I always like to see a smile occasionally from Christian. So, what about this horse? What do you think this horse's biggest strength is, Christian?
Her cow sense.
So you've had her around some cows, and she seems to go to them pretty good. Step up here if you can. And then what's one thing that you think we need to work on with